So in India, we have this concept of saffron milk, which I had never heard of in the US. So what it is warm sweetened milk that has spices and ground nut powders added to it. And I thought that might be a really good profile for my flaxseed pudding. So today is day 4 of my flaxseed pudding. I am happy to report that there was no nausea yesterday after the hot chocolate flaxseed pudding. So I think heat is the key here to keep it from making your stomach hurt as it expands. So let's get to making some milk masala. I've got 2 almonds. I've got 2 cashews. Now, normally we use pistachios, but I didn't have any, so I'm going with some pumpkin seeds. They have their own nutty flavor, and they'll keep that green hue. I'm turning off the heat now. I'm just adding a pinch of fennel seeds and 1 cardamom pod. And I just want the carryover heat to warm this through. You can see that the seeds are puffing and browning. I need to shave some nutmeg for this. There we go. Just a tiny bit. You'd never want to add this directly to the heat. Can you see it? I'll slide over for you. Yeah. The heat will make it lose all of its perfume. So our nuts have cooled down. Apparently, the trick to grinding nuts in your mortar and pestle is to add sugar. That was about 2 teaspoons. We'll see how this works. Supposedly, the crystal structure, like these big sugar crystals, are supposed to give something for the nuts to grind against. I don't know. We'll find out. Look at that. It actually worked. Now we are supposed to take some saffron and rub 3 to 4 threads between our fingers into the powder. Like the texture is supposed to make it crumble. So we will see how this works. I think I might have been better off just crushing it with the back of my spoon. I've got a 1/2 cup of steaming hot milk. Not boiling, but steaming. My pan is very hot though. Let's pour this directly in. I'm going to let this cool down for a minute. You can't pour your flax seeds directly into boiling hot water for this. Otherwise, it will just become one big giant clump. It's time to make our pudding. So I need, again, 1 tablespoon of flax meal. Mix that baby in. I'm actually kind of excited to try this one considering how well the chocolate milk went yesterday. I have high hopes for this because it's super fragrant. I wanted to make a sheet pan soup today and some buttermilk biscuits, but I don't have any all-purpose flour and I need some pumpkin and some other stuff for my lunch. If I go to DMart and the vegetable market, it will take at least an hour and a half of my day, so I'm going to have to make an online order. My Blinkit order came in less than 5 minutes, so they are really fast today. And in the monsoon, they give plastic bags. These are biodegradable bags. It's time to preheat my oven. We're going to turn it to 200 degrees. I've got all my veggies prepped. I've got 500 grams of pumpkin that I've chopped. We've got like 4.5 small tomatoes. We've got 1.5 medium onions. I've got 4 cloves of garlic that I left the skin on because I don't want the garlic to burn, but if you leave the skin on, it works better. We've got 1 medium carrot rough chopped. The harder the things are, the longer they take to cook, so the smaller you want to chop them. And then I've just deseeded 1 capsicum. So I'm just going to toss this with some olive oil. About a tablespoon, I think. I've got about 1/2 teaspoon of salt. And this is about 2 teaspoons of mixed oregano herbs or pizza herbs, whatever you want to call it. You can use whatever dried herb mix you want. I don't have a large mixing bowl, so I'm going to use like the popcorn shaker method. You just put 1 bowl on top of the other. This is also a way that you can dress a salad. You just shake it. Okay. Everybody's coated. Just going to throw this out onto my baking sheet. Take a little bit of arrangement here. I know where the cooler side of my oven is, so that's where I'm going to place my capsicum. Then we'll arrange the tomatoes so that they're fleshy side down. Make sure that the onions are backside down against the sheet pan also. Looks like I've overcrowded this a little bit, but my oven has a convection mode, so I'm not worried that nothing will bake. So I think I'm good. My oven is preheated. I'm just going to slide my baking tray right into the center rack. I meant to close that. Convection. And this will take 25 to 35 minutes to cook. Our veggies are done. The onions are nice and caramelized. The capsicum's done. The tomatoes are absolutely tender. The garlic is soft. The pumpkin is cooked all the way through. The carrots are nice and tender. I need 2/3 of a cup of buttermilk for this, but I don't have buttermilk. I only have dahi. So I've taken 1/2 of a cup of dahi, and I'm just going to add water on top of it until I hit that 2/3 measuring mark. There we are. Let's give it a whisk. I've got 190 grams of all-purpose flour, which is about 1.5 cups. I've got 1.5 teaspoons of baking powder, 1/4 teaspoon of baking soda, and 1/2 teaspoon of salt. I'm just going to mix that around with my dough whisk. I have 60 grams of butter, which I've placed in the freezer for 10 minutes, and I'm going to grate it on my box grater to make this move through the dough better. We just want to do this really quickly. Now we want to work the fat into the flour with a fork. The butter will create steam, and then your biscuits will rise really nice and fluffy. Okay, we've got that nice sandy texture. Now it's time to incorporate our liquid here. Now you do not want to overmix this. You'll end up with a really glutinous, tough biscuit. We just want a nice rustic dough here. So once it comes together and I have a craggy dough, that's how I know it's time to bake. This is the texture that we want. Just gonna butter my baking dish really quick here. And we're gonna drop our dough directly into the pan. We just wanna press this out. This is called a dump pan biscuit. I don't wanna press it down. I just wanna kind of have a general square shape here. Buttered, I oiled that, so I just wanna score this and score it again this way. And slide our baking tray right in there. And this needs to bake for 10 to 15 minutes. While the biscuits are baking and everything is cooling, I'm gonna have my flax pudding, because the whole point of this is that it's supposed to fill your stomach before you eat, so you eat less. So. Yeah, this absolutely reminds me of like South Indian desserts. Last bite. That wasn't bad at all. This one will definitely be a repeat also. Suggest any other flavor combinations that you think will work with this. We're just going to put the contents of our entire sheet pan into the blender here. Just put the lid on this here. I forgot I needed to add 50 grams of feta cheese. This is looking a little thick already, so I'm just going to add a couple tablespoons of water on top. Looks like our biscuits are done. It's time for our soup, and I've got 300 milliliters of vegetable stock here, and I added 1 teaspoon of soy sauce and 1 teaspoon of apple cider vinegar to it just to give it a little more umami and a little acid. We just want to heat this on medium-high heat until it comes to a simmer and simmer for about 3 minutes. Our biscuits are absolutely golden brown. I'm just going to cut those score marks. Just goes right through. This is going to be absolutely divine to dunk into our soup. What's your favorite soup companion?